There's an absurd amount of people that think that I cheat in Warzone. So today, I'm diving deep into the allegations and discussing them in detail. So it's come to my attention that a specific hacker hunter channel, Call of Shame, has decided to make a video calling me out for not cheating, apparently, which is, you know, an interesting switch up, but hey, I respect it, dude. Whatever floats your boat today. But either way, as you can see on your screen, he titled the video Absolute Clown Behavior and straight up ripped my thumbnail. Immaculate job. And so we're going to be reacting to the portion of the video that has to do specifically with me and discussing that at length, at the very least. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look. I went ahead and downloaded the video so that I could just chop out my portion and we didn't go past it, but let's take a look.
Not everyone that is shadow banned is cheating. Players can be simply shadow banned for having a low trust score.
Interesting point made. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but I guess I would not expect you to understand that, seeing as you have literally no idea how the game works. Respect.
But those that receive the Ricochet logo are 100% cheating, and those problematic players are removed from the game by the anti-cheat.
So people that get the Ricochet logo are 100% cheating. Interesting.
But when players are shown in the kill feed, Ricochet took immediate action to protect other players within the game.
Now, it's kind of funny that he goes out of his way to point out a specific player that has been in the past known to make hacker hunter content, and similar to what Call of Shame should probably do, ended up coming out saying he had literally no idea what he was talking about and just decided to try and get better at the game, and now has seemingly gotten kicked out of a match with the Ricochet logo. Okay.
And stay clear of them, as they are taking you for a fool.
Stay clear of anyone with the Ricochet logo because they're playing you a fool.
If anyone claiming that shadow ban—
Oh, hey, that's my tweet. That's my tweet. I said people keep using this as proof that they're getting tons of cheaters banned, which is the confirmations of action being taken in the game, the little notification popping up. So I said, this is not a confirmation of a ban. This is a confirmation the player has been placed in limited matchmaking to have their account looked into further over the course of a week. Sometimes it could be 2 weeks, sometimes it could be a month, but that's basically what's going on. Call of Duty explained this in their recent update. As of April 11th, they talked about this, I believe, on the 2nd or the 3rd, speaking about Ricochet, and it has been that way from the beginning. So interestingly enough, he highlights a specific part saying additional proof of this comes in the form of the Ricochet showing up in the kill feed when a player is shadowed. I've seen this multiple times with teammates and they're always completely innocent and back on their accounts after review. In fact, the person he brought up, Headband, is also free on that same account. So where am I wrong? I've been playing with Pipe, my friend, who, no offense, listen, Pipe, I love you, bro, but sometimes drops 4 kills. Okay, he's just an incredible teammate. He taps him up. He's giving me layups in the game half the time. So he has gotten shadow banned in the past, thrown into limited matchmaking, and it'll pop up with the Ricochet logo. So then a week later, he's back, no issue whatsoever. He just got shadow banned. So where's the confusion? Are you trying to tell me the guy that literally has me set up his OBS every time he wants to stream, that guy has downloaded cheats and is cheating for 4 kills? Okay. All in all, yes, you may have gotten a cheater banned, but you may have also gotten an innocent player that slammed you, thrown into limited matchmaking. I'm not this was in response to a post by Westy, but I digress. Let's keep going.
From disconnections are the same as those triggered by Ricochet as shown in the kill feed, is either misinformed or straight up lying. The two are—
So I'm either misinformed or straight up lying. The person that plays the game 8 hours a day and has put more time into it than this guy has put into a bullshit career using AI to hide his face because he's scared. Incredible.
Completely different. If you see a streamer that has been booted
This is different. This right here is different but headband is free as we speak.
Ricochet have nothing more to do with them. A lot of streamers eventually realize they're just boring, so
I'm just boring.
they start lying and farming impressions.
I'm lying and farming impressions. And interesting. What am I lying about?
Like this guy, acting like he's relevant enough to get early access to Verdansk.
I played Verdansk early. That's fair. That's fair. I played it 5 years early, if you think about it.
Or making thumbnails saying he's banned by Ricochet.
I got banned in Warzone. I got exposed for cheating in Warzone. So to be clear, Call of Shame, are you saying that I lied about cheating and that I'm not cheating? You're telling me that after all this time of you using my name for clicks, my name, putting me in the intro of your videos, every single time you post a video, I'm the one clickbaiting. That's crazy. Bro, I don't know how you can't see the hypocrisy, how you have so little self-awareness that you're like, whoa, what do you mean? What? Look at this guy talking about getting banned and using that for clickbait. Dog, come on now. Are you for real?
Cheater. But then when I call them out for cheating, they throw a full-on sissy fit. So what's the problem? I'm literally agreeing with
So to be clear, anytime I did one of these videos, they were usually me either getting shadow banned or me getting prox chat banned. And I explained that in the first 5 seconds of the video. Every single time I would go out of my way to explain, hey, this is what happened. This is why it's a problem. This is why it needs to be fixed so that we're not hurting innocent players. This includes the casual players who, as Call of Shame himself mentioned earlier, have a low trust score. So
the cheating streamers. They have the IQ of a jelly bean.
I have the IQ of a jelly bean. That's remarkable. That is truly, wow. I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess it makes sense though. So let's talk about the points that Call of Shame made here, right? He said points by Call of Shame. Players can simply be shadow banned by having a low trust score. That is incorrect. Trust scores are built around a system that Call of Duty put in place a few years ago whenever they started doing shadow bans, right? What it is the more you play the game, the longer you've played the game, how many games in the past of Warzone or hell, if you've purchased older games and been on your account for a longer amount of time, you will have a higher trust score. The less you play, the less you have played, the lower your trust score will be. Interestingly enough, we've heard that you can raise your trust score by purchasing more items in the store. I don't know how true that is, but I don't see a lot of people getting fried out there by Ricochet whenever they're buying a bunch of stuff from the shop, which is a little crazy. But at the end of the day, you don't get shadow banned by having a low trust score. You get shadow banned because you have a low trust score and people report you. The system does not just throw you out for no reason. The system has, at least in the past, it's a little bit better now from what I hear. In the past, you would get a set number of reports within a set number of like hours or games or whatever it may be, a specific amount of time basically. And if you hit that set number of reports, guess what? Shadow banned. They have to look into your account. So some people have a lower number of reports. Some people have a higher number of reports. The whitelist that a lot of these hacker hunters like to talk about is actually something called streamer mode, or behind the scenes it's called streamer plus. I've explained this a few times, but the way that it works is they are given a setting to toggle in their settings, right? So streamers, certain streamers, only ones with very large audiences, are given a quote whitelist, which is just streamer plus. So what happens is in the game, it'll change their name. It'll also make it where people that try to stream snipe them and die by them multiple times, which isn't a big deal now because they changed it where you can only report once. People that would do that would not affect their account, right? So that was the point of it. It takes more reports. It raises their trust score. But if they were cheating and the system physically caught them cheating, like Ricochet had seen something on their PC, then they would still get banned. So Streamer Plus or the whitelist or whatever it may be, that is basically the top end of the trust score. But if you have something on your account, you can still get banned. It is that simple. Activision has repeatedly said this over and over and over. And anybody that is saying something other than what I'm saying right now is completely wrong or misinformed or they're lying. Sorry, it's crazy. Anyway, players who are shown with the Ricochet logo are 100% cheating. So like I said, my friend Pipe has been shadow banned multiple times in the past. And every time he got shadow banned, the Ricochet logo would pop up. There are Expel Plus videos way back in the day. If you really want to go search through them, I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours to find it, but I know for a fact it ended up in Expel Plus videos of Pipe getting shadow banned, and it says Ricochet. He is not cheating in any capacity. So to say that, oh, that Ricochet logo means they are 100% caught. No, that is a bold-faced lie, just with the sole purpose of indoctrination. Next up, anyone saying he's wrong is misinformed or lying. Look, man, whatever you got to say, whatever you got to say. The next thing, I am just boring, so I lie and farm impressions. That is insane, right? I'm cool. If you don't think I'm cool, like funny, you don't think I provide value to my viewers, that's fine, bro. That is absolutely fine. But the hypocrisy behind it is absurd, right? If you're so unself-aware that you look at my content where at least it has to do with what I'm doing, right? Don't get me wrong. YouTube's kind of one of those things where, and look, this is a shitty excuse. I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to tell you the reality of making content online. First of all, the word clickbait quite literally means that it's something that is meant to get clicks on it. So when people say clickbait, I kind of just laugh at it because of course, it's my job to make content that gets views. Duh. But saying that I lie is crazy whenever you actively put every single creator that has a larger following in your videos on repeat every single time you're trying to make enough money to pay rent. So at least I'm not every single day putting every other content creator's name in it so that I can SEO them and maybe show up whenever people look them up. Just a thought. And if you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So it's kind of funny. The more actually that I say that I'm cheating and I put like Expel cheating in a title, the more that I knock his dumb ass down the pole so that when he makes a video, it's a little harder for him to show up. So he would have to post a video of me every single day, which I think is honestly super funny because it's not on purpose, but it is so hilarious that every time I make a video making a joke about me cheating or talking about the cheating situation because I've been shadow banned or I got chat banned or this, that, or the other thing, it hurts him and it makes him make less money, which is honestly, I'm sorry. Look, man, I know you're trying to make rent. I know it's hard out there and you have to use AI because your frail, brittle hands can't handle figuring out how to edit yourself and you're scared to show your face. I get it, man. I get it. I totally get it. You're a superhero. Yeah. I acted like I was relevant enough to get early access to Verdansk. So fun fact, I actually don't make my titles and my thumbnails. I work with my guy that makes my titles and thumbnails and we come up with ideas together and we figure out what's popping, stuff like that. We focus on trends a lot. We do stuff like that, but I don't make my titles or my thumbnails. So I actually was sick that day and I was originally going to go back and react to older videos about Verdansk, which if you watch that video, I quite literally said in the very intro of the video, I was having to go get some other stuff done. I wasn't sick. Sorry, I wasn't sick. That was another video. I wasn't sick. I had to go pick up shirts for merch. Hey, I had to go pick this up right here. The thing on my body. I had to go pick it up. So what ended up happening is that I reacted to it. My audio was chalked. So I just posted 3 old gameplays from Verdansk. And it was titled that way. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't act like it. If you watch the video, I wasn't pretending like, look, I played the game early. You just click on the video and see that in the first 10 seconds. I try to be as clear as I can in the intro of the video so people know what's going on. So up to you. If you're super upset about that, then maybe get off the internet. Next up, we have I make thumbnails saying I get banned by Ricochet and call myself a cheater when I'm not. Oh, call it shame. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I know I'm not. That is true. I don't cheat. I never have cheated. And anyone saying that I am cheating is trying to make rent. You keep it up there, buddy. One day you'll make it. And then finally, I have the IQ of a jelly bean. Okay, fair play. I can't argue with that. If you think I'm dumb, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not stupid, you're stupid. That's goofy. Now, one other thing that I kind of wanted to take a look at here is the intro that he puts in all his videos, right? So right here we have Expel. I'm gonna get rid of my camera. You can see that this is supposed to be me. You can see my hat that he's AI'd. I actually don't know how legal this is, and I hope for his sake that it is, because one day it's probably not going to be me, but somebody's gonna take him down for doing a little bit too much with AI when he's not supposed to be doing that, because that is super weird. But fun fact, I'm bald, right? I'm bald, bro. So thank you for the hair. Incredibly kind of you. I appreciate the hell out of that, dude. I was not ever expecting to have hair again. That's a W. That's an absolute, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad, bro. Like, thank you so much. Just, keep it PG in the future and don't bring other people into it. Look, you don't have my permission to use my face, just as a quick heads up. But if you do bring other people into it in my life, I will put you under the prison. I just want to be very clear about that, because that's never, ever going to be okay. Okay, attacking random people for shit that I didn't even do is insane. And you are a psychopath, just to be very clear. The fact that you're so focused on me is wild. Now, the next thing I kind of wanted to do is I wanted to take a quick look at some of the comments on his videos that I thought were frankly kind of hilarious. And then hopefully I can kind of explain some as well, so that y'all can understand a little bit better what goes through my head whenever, people have certain things they want to say to me. The first of which is a comment from Lynx, and they said, the only thing Expel is good at is baldness. Thank you. I think. Thank you. I believe that. I think I say thank you there. I appreciate the hell out of you for that one. The next thing, a comment from Serial said, Expel is one of the worst. Speaks like a subject matter expert, and when you question him intelligently, you're insta-blocked. And I wasn't even being disrespectful at all. I don't actually know what this is actually having to do with in the slightest, genuinely. But I want you to know that if you have a specific opinion, I'm not going to block you because of your opinion. I'm going to block you based on the way that you express your opinion. He said he wasn't disrespectful. I have a hard time believing that, just to be very clear, because I only remove people from my channel whenever they say inappropriate things. To be fair, YouTube also auto mods people for saying inappropriate things. So if this person is on Call of Shame's video, sucking up to Call of Shame, my guess is they were probably saying something rude to me, because Call of Shame makes constant videos about me and throws me in all of his intros and stuff like that. So I can only assume that he had something bad to say, and he's a bold-faced liar. That's the facts of it. Next thing, underneath it, you saw it a second ago, Wet Dreams Don't Dry said he copies Jowo's settings and did like he can play. All losers. I don't know what that means, to be clear. One, I don't copy anybody's settings because I don't trust anybody's settings, because everybody plays differently. So one, don't copy anybody's settings, right? That's not a thing. Two, I can explain, and I do explain every time I make a settings video, every single setting that I have and the reason that I use it and why I choose it over something that somebody else would do. In fact, there was a guy recently that made a video talking about my settings versus Iceman Isaac versus this guy versus that guy, and he said that mine personally felt best to him. And that's a huge compliment. I appreciate the hell out of you. I focus a lot whenever I do these videos on providing as much value as I can. I like to tweak my settings every once in a while to make sure that everything feels right. Sorry, I'm gonna bring my camera down a little bit. That everything feels right. And I know that some people appreciate that. Some people enjoy the game a little bit better whenever they have those settings. I also have never watched Jowo's settings videos. No offense to him, I also don't watch his videos in general. The only time I do is when I'm asked to by Joe or by Sooner, his editor, to check something out. Or if I see that he's done the exact same video as me on the same day and I'm like, oh, I wonder what his take was. That's about it. I'm not checking his stuff to see what are his settings. I gotta copy this real quick, make sure that I got all the right stuff going on here. No, I absolutely do not do that. Next up, we have Spot 'em, Got 'em. And they said, Call of Shame, absolute clown behavior. Expel cracks me up with his clickbait. Once again, same thing I said a second ago. I clickbait, at least on topic, I have to. There's no way around it. The Call of Duty cesspool of videos is incredibly saturated with very low quality content. So the reason that I make my content as clicky as it can be is because it's hard to break past the people that accidentally SEO. So you have to SEO, do some search engine optimization. You have to make the thumbnail look vibrant and bright and exciting, make people question what they're clicking on, stuff like that. There's a lot more that goes into it. I'm not going to walk you through how to run a media company. That would, I mean, if you want to pay me for it, sure, we'll do that. I'll bring Axel in and we'll figure it out. But no. I appreciate you saying I clickbait. Of course, everybody has to. There's no way around it. Otherwise, you're just going to eventually fizzle out and you're never going to get views and this isn't going to be your career anymore. That's okay, you know, but not much I can do about that. We have Anomaly, who said this asshole Expel literally denied that there was any cheaters in the newest update for Call of Duty, saying that I was just getting body slammed. You probably were. And that players who were killing me with ranked 1 season 3 calling cards or top 50 World Series of Warzone calling cards was just a bug, and then I had to get better at the game. Okay, complete loser, and you can tell he was covering for Activision. You know, I actually hear a lot about covering for Activision. First, I want to say this. Activision, for the first time since Caldera, has invited me. Actually, I've never been invited to one of these, but for the first time since Caldera has done something that I was a part of, they invited me to a call recently to listen to what was coming with Verdansk. I did not get early access to Verdansk. I did not get to see anything super early. I was given a 2-hour heads up about what was coming in the update. That's it. That is literally it. Along the way, I have made dozens. I'm not talking like 24. I'm saying like 50 to 60 videos over the past 6 months, absolutely on Call of Duty and the dog shit updates. I don't know why I bleeped the first one. Updates that they've done and the bad that they've done for the game. To say in any capacity that I am covering for Activision, or my favorite one, that I'm getting paid by Activision. First of all, I would love to show you my bank statements. Not once. The most that Activision does for me is that they send me either packages, which I don't even share anymore, or I haven't in the past. They're all in a closet somewhere, but they've sent me packages in the past. Quite frankly, no offense to them, I don't give a shit. I think it's cool whenever it's cool, but most of the time, and it's no offense to the people that put them together in any way, but for me, I would care more about something that would help me further my career, which is getting invited to recording sessions. I have not had that. I've expressed that to them multiple times. I have said, hey, I would love to be a part of this. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and like gargle on their dick whenever they're not helping me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for me, business relationships go 2 ways. I'm not going to sit here and say, man, I'd love to just do this. Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. I'm a firm believer in integrity, honesty, making sure that I'm providing value to my audience, and I'm not going to sell them out for a quick buck. So, no, I am not covering for Activision. As for the first part of it, where he said that I said there was any cheaters, at no point did I say that. I said that Ricochet was working better, and I personally had not seen any cheaters. I'm sure this guy was one of the people that said, there's cheaters everywhere. Cheaters are ruining every match. I'm having the worst time of my life. I've never died to so many cheaters. He literally said that he's dying to people with like World Series of Warzone calling cards, and he thinks that they're cheating. You're telling me people that you think went to World Series of Warzone, the people that constantly had their computers checked, the people that literally went to a LAN center and played against the best players in the world, your assumption is that they're cheating. You're a idiot, buddy. That's insane to me that you would say something like that. That is literally so laughable that you would be like, yeah, the best players in the world are only good because they're cheating. Okay. All right, man. There's no help for you at that point, you know? At the end of the day, the guy was getting body slammed by good players. That's just how it works, man. I'm not saying there's no cheaters in the update. I've ran into 3 so far. It took me like 3 weeks to hit that number, and it's few and far between. I'm not saying there's no cheaters in the game. I'm not saying that cheating is not possible in Warzone. I'm saying the Ricochet got better, and I'm incredibly happy that it did because I don't have to stress about making content around cheating all the damn time. Because now it's not a hot topic. No one gives a shit. It's super nice that I don't have to have that conversation every single time I try and make a video or something like that. So that does definitely make me happy. Next up, a comment from Infinite Zombies says, Expel has always been a weirdo, thief, and major cheater. 1, I do not cheat. Never have cheat. And if you feel like I have cheat, that's completely up to you. I'm not going to sit here and try and argue with the fact that you think that I'm cheating because I can't change your mind because you have a decision made in your head. And even if I gave you full-blown proof, it still wouldn't be enough. People constantly say, hey, why don't you put a camera behind your gameplay? I have. I've literally put a camera behind my setup, showed everything, showed that I'm not cheating. They were like, but you could have been doing this. I'm like, well, fuck it. What's the point in showing everything if everything is then not enough? It makes literally 0 sense. Calling me a weirdo? That's fair. I get it. Thief? I don't know what the hell I've stolen. I want y'all to know, 1, I am the kind of person that cannot lie for the life of me. I have, in the past, gone to the grocery store and gotten a donut. And when I did, I felt so terribly about not telling my fiance that I literally, started acting like a goofballs until the point to where I got sick to my stomach and had to tell her that I got an 88-cent donut. Was I on a diet? No. Was it just the fact that I did it without her? Yes. You take that and multiply it infinitely. She is one person who, yes, means more to me than anyone else. But you take that and multiply it by a massive audience. I get around 2 million, a little over 2 million views a month long form. These are people that watch 30 minutes of my content, have listened to me on repeat. You think that I would not give a damn about how people receive my content? You think that I would like to lie to my viewers? It's not all about money, bro. At the end of the day, it comes down to integrity. I feel like my audience can tell whether or not I have integrity. And if they can't, that's fine, dude. Maybe my content's not for you. That's okay. But at the end of the day, I care more about the truth. I care more about helping people than I do about stealing shit. I don't even know what I would be stealing, to be quite honest. Next up, we have Neil Robinson, who said Expel is such a dick to his fans and his arrogance is so cringe, I stopped subscribing. He says all the time that the reason he's so good is because he's smart, insinuating that you're not. Bro, you flex on playing a video game. Interesting, to say the least. I can see the thought process, but it doesn't mean that that's what's going on. First, Expel's a dick to his fans. If I'm rude to you, you're not a fan. At the end of the day, people say they're fans. Just because you've watched one video of mine does not mean that you're a supporter of my content. Just because you've seen 2 videos of mine does not mean that you're a supporter of my content. A supporter of my content is there through thick and thin, cares to listen to what I have to say, and will stick around regardless of what I say because they know that I mean well. They've paid attention to my personality. They've paid attention to how I feel about specific situations. They understand that they may disagree with me and I may disagree with them, but at the end of the day, we both end up in the same spot where we're okay with not being right with one another. If I'm ever rude to you, it is because you are rude first. It is that simple. I will not go out of my way to be rude to somebody. However, if someone decides to be a dick, I will respond with the same energy. I will always be like that. Sure, it would be better if I was a better person. You know, I could turn the other cheek a little bit better. And one day, maybe I will be, you know, maybe one day I'll have kids and I will grow up even a little bit more than I have in the past few years to where I don't feel the need to do that. But as it stands now, if you're going to be an asshole, do you expect me to suck you dry? I'm not going to do that. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. He said my arrogance is so cringe that he stopped subscribing. That's chill, bro. I get it. I think a lot of people get confused whenever it comes to me playing a video game. I am not arrogant. I am confident. I have done a lot of research. I have put 20,000 hours into playing Call of Duty, probably more than that over my lifetime. That is a lot of time. It is like 1,000 hours to be a pro at something. I have put in 20,000 hours into understanding specific information and getting very good at seeing how events will turn out. I am not at any point taking that and saying you are the worst human ever and you are stupid if you don't have the same information that I do. That is, again, very insane because I have put in 20,000 hours. My audience is mostly casual, and I expect them to not know. I do not expect you to have the same information as me. I do not expect you to have the same game sense or game knowledge as me. I don't know where this would even come from, to be quite honest. I would need a specific situation that I could explain to further investigate this, so that we could come out with a proper solution to this. But in reality, I don't really understand why people think that I am insinuating that because I understand a video game that you're dumb because you have not put 20,000 hours into a video game. That is wild. I would never do that. I would never expect people to be at the level that I am or have the same understanding that I do without the same amount of time being put in. It's that simple. Now, have I in the past said that this person or this person has a lower IQ? Absolutely. But in the video from Call of Shame, he literally said I had the IQ of a jelly bean. So if we're, setting examples, I think maybe we look to the real problem. Next up, we've got 360, Sully 360. He said, Expel plays keyboard and mouse, but has controller buttons on his screen. That is not true. Watch his posture. I play keyboard and mouse, sat arms out wide like him. When I play controller, I'm hunched forward with the controller under the desk. You've got f***ing terrible posture, is what I heard. So if you don't know, the proper height for your chair and your desk comes down to how tall you are. I'm 6'1". So what I do is I build out my desk so that when I'm using mouse and keyboard for working, I have my arms at the proper height. So let's say I'm sitting up straight. I set my arms right here. This is mouse and keyboard right here, right? And I do this, and then I'll move my keyboard to the center so that I can type on it, right? If I am playing on controller, my arms look like this. The issue is that when my screen or my camera is more vertical so that I can show more of the screen so that people have more information and the information that I have. Whenever I do that, it looks like my arms are not crooked. So you'll notice that my arm, whenever I'm like this, at the very elbow, if you ever go back and watch my videos, this is the only way that you can really tell, and I'm sorry that it's that way. It's an incredibly dumb thing that you can't recognize that my arms aren't constantly doing this. But you can easily tell that my arm is literally crooked so that I can have my controller in my hand. So when people say that, I kind of laugh a little bit, but it is incredibly annoying because if you did play mouse and keyboard, then you would know that one, if you are on mouse and keyboard, when you're in the sky, you can turn very quickly. Two, when you go into a buy station, you have to use your mouse to drag to the thing you want to get. Three, when you go to grab your loadout, you have to drag to see the kind of stuff you want to get. Four, whenever you are going up a ladder, you can spin all the way around on mouse and keyboard, but you can't do that on controller. I mean, I could go on for days with different examples of things that are physically not possible on controller that are possible on mouse and keyboard. And when you say stuff like that, it makes literally no sense because you should recognize the other things that happen whenever I'm on mouse and keyboard versus when I'm on controller. In fact, I've made plenty of videos, one of which coming in the next week, where I'm on mouse and keyboard, and you can tell a clear difference between my gameplay. That's stupid. It's very stupid. I don't understand how you could get confused about that. If you're someone that plays mouse and keyboard, do you not understand controller? I don't know. Where's the confusion here, bro? Also, why do I have to sit like this? Why would it be expected of me that I f up my back because you have terrible posture? That is incredibly ignorant of you. Lord have mercy. Sometimes when I read stuff like this, I'm like, my God. People just, like, they're just reaching, bro. They are just reaching, right? So next up, we have a comment from Gary Pritchard. Said, Expel is a cheater, VPN, reverse boosting, two boxing, and third-party audio. One, any audio... we'll get into it in a minute. When you understand how this all works, give us a shout, because obvious you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. So this is obviously in response to someone. He hides behind videos, does not live stream because he would be called out, asked to see his monitor to show his files. This is why YouTube edits and cut the videos for what he wants you to see and hear. It's all about money, selling controllers and t-shirts. Bro, they're mad at me because I'm trying to make money as a living. What the, what? It's all about money. He's lying through his teeth. He's a cheat 100%. want to watch a real streamer, Stone Mountain. I mean, Stone Mountain's incredible, truly, but Stone, I would recommend banning this guy if you don't want your chat to get incredibly toxic. I'll tell you that. First of all, Expel is a cheater. VPN, reverse boosting, 2-boxing. 1, I've never 2-boxed ever in my life. 2, reverse boosting, never reverse boost in my life. VPNing, I used a VPN in Warzone 1. Subsequently, I used a VPN to test to see if it did anything different for specific videos on my YouTube channel. Back in, I think, Warzone 2, I immediately deleted it off my computer. I've not had a VPN on my computer since then. That's it. That's the only time I've used VPNs. Back in the day, the reason I used a VPN, I used no lag VPN. If you go back and you use the time machine or whatever the hell it's called, the web archive time machine to look at that website, you'll notice that it did what exit lag does now, which is it was supposed to give you better ping. Exit lag is way better for this, which is why I don't need to use no lag VPN. But I used it knowing that, yes, it could give me easier lobbies, but with the goal of better ping, because AT&T has always had issues with proper trace routing, right? So you bounce to a bunch of different servers when you don't need to. So I used no lag so I could get better ping, because I'd constantly get 60 to 70 ping, and I was incredibly tired of that because on mouse and keyboard, every single millisecond counts. So I would use it for that. I didn't use it because I really wanted to get easier lobbies. Don't get me wrong. If a friend was using a VPN to get easier lobbies, I would absolutely not be like, dude, turn that off. I didn't give a shit, bro. Like, it didn't matter. Now I go out of my way to say, turn that off. I don't want to use it. And realistically, I don't even play with people that use stuff like that. So I don't know, man. To each their own. If you think a VPN's cheating, that's incredibly ignorant, because there are so many things that are cheating, and you putting a stand on something like that whenever I haven't even touched anything like that in years, and I never used it for the exact thing that you said I used it for, I mean, it's just ignorant. The next thing is third-party audio. I use a specific series of softwares so that I can micro-tune the frequencies for my headset and get proper surround sound. So I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but what I do know is that I've gone out of my way to ensure that nothing in the game files are touched. So to be upset about third-party audio is pretty dumb. In reality, third-party audio could also mean you have a mix amp from Astro. So anybody using Astros is now cheating. Congrats. You could have a mix amp from, God, I can't think of it, SteelSeries. They do wireless mix amps. So they're cheating too. You know what? Now that I think about it, anything that is not the exact same is cheating. So if you're on PC and people are on console, they're cheating. PC players are cheating. Congrats. Every single one of them, because they have headphones. You know what, actually? Anybody on Xbox, because it's not the same as a PlayStation, they're cheating too. It's just, look, man, if you're going to say stuff like this, it's stupid. Because the further down the line you go, the more you end up in the same situation. Everybody's using something different. I put money on the fact that this guy has something, a specific headphones, that have a different set of frequency tunings than another person's headphones. So if you're going to say something like that, it makes no sense. Now, if I was to go in and specifically cut out a specific file that said, hey, I don't want to hear PAs anymore. Hey, I don't want to hear my teammates' footsteps anymore. Hey, I don't want to hear my own footsteps anymore. If I cut out that audio, absolutely, that would be cheating. That is my personal opinion. If you go out of your way to do that, that is not cool. You should not be deleting files in the Call of Duty files so that you can have an unfair advantage. However, if you're not doing that, everything's fair game. Otherwise, it makes no sense, because at the end of the day, saying, oh, any external use of software or hardware is cheating. Okay, so every single person that's on a monitor that's an OLED is cheating. Every single person that has a different internet connection is cheating. Every single person that has, a controller with back paddles is cheating. Every single person, by the way, Call of Duty is sponsored by a company that does controllers with back paddles, and it's literally what they post all the time about. They even did Call of Duty branded controllers. So if you want to say that, you're a ball. I said a goofball. I don't even know why I muted right there. Just trying to be nice. But you could go down the line. Every single thing is cheating if you want to put it that way. So it doesn't make sense. As for the not streaming thing, that's absolutely not the case. I've talked about this multiple times. I don't stream because I don't have time to stream. I make 2 videos, both of which around an hour apiece. That's 2 hours of my day. That includes, just playing. But just playing is not enough, because oftentimes it'll take me 5 to 6 hours to get these videos, which means oftentimes I will work 12 hours a day. As of late, I've been working like 16 hours a day and coming to bed super late. You could literally asked my fiance. Streaming is stressful. I don't like streaming. It is terrible for me. I had a conversation with Savage. If you don't know who Savage is, he's a friend of mine that he used to make content in Call of Duty, and he's switched to other stuff, right? I had a conversation with him, and I asked him, hey man, why did you quit streaming? And he said, well, I did the numbers. And I'm not I don't like taking money from my viewers. I want to be very clear for that. I do not, for free, like taking money from my viewers. It's just not something I'm into. Now, if I have, let's say, a controller or a t-shirt that I think they're going to like, or the controller specifically I think will help them improve, of course I'm gonna say, hey, you should check this out. I also, on my website, if you go to expel.gg, you can see I have recommended headphones, monitors, stuff like that that's gonna help you improve. So there's a lot of things that I do to help people improve, but I do not like directly taking money from my viewers with nothing in return. It makes me feel incredibly awkward. I don't like that. So, not cool with that to begin with. But Savage talked to me and I said, hey man, you know, run me through it. And he said, well, I actually kept a spreadsheet and I tracked my time doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this. I tracked my time in streaming, compared the numbers, and streaming was a waste of time for me. And so I did the same. And the next day I stopped streaming because one, I already don't like taking money from my audience, but taking money from my audience at the time was the only way that I was going to be able to make it. So I knew that in the past I had been able to make content and make enough through AdSense alone without people having to give me money, and I would be able to, and I was able to make it, and I did incredibly well. And right now, I'm doing incredibly well monetarily through AdSense compared to what it has been in the last few years. And I don't have to stream. I don't have to worry about doing something like that. Now, I'm not saying I haven't streamed. I've streamed twice since last August. The first was for the day of Verdansk. The second was because AIM Controllers, the company that makes these controllers, use code Expel, they asked me to hop on. The owners of the company specifically asked that I hop on because they were having their 11th anniversary. I will probably in the future be streaming once to twice a month over on twitch.tv/expel. I am not going to be taking my time to whip out a f***ing monitor cam. That is not the point of streaming. My thing now that I have had the opportunity to make enough through AdSense and through sponsors, I want to take the opportunity to now use those as just a simple way to connect with my audience, the people that have supported me by watching my content. I would much prefer that than ever taking money from my audience. So I don't stream for that reason. It's not that I'm trying to hide something. I have nothing to hide. I've explained it multiple times. I've done videos where I show a camera showing my setup. I've done videos where I explain every single piece of hardware in my setup. I've done videos where I explain audio or whatever the hell you want to hear. You know, I've done all of these videos. And if you didn't take the opportunity to watch those videos, I can't be held responsible for you not doing that. So if you want to make bullshit up, that's entirely up to you, but it's not my fault that you didn't do it. So make up whatever lies you want, but it doesn't make it true at the end of the day. The next thing, we have a comment from Alexander. On the bright side, Rara is finally good enough for Expel now that Rara made his very own cheats to pocket big on. One, I'm not talking shit on Rara. The audio stuff is very similar to what I use. It does not affect game files. It's not cheats. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't do anything like that. He was banned in the past. He made a whole video on this. He got banned in the past because he had a software open that's supposed to check to see if people are using cheats. The issue is that same software, he found out very quickly, could be used to inject cheats. So because it was open and it allowed him to see into the RAM that was in his, like the memory that was in his computer, because he had that open and he launched the game, he got banned. He got that account back 2 years later. Since then, he made a video talking about it. No one gave a shit because they had moved on because it had been 2 years, but he explained that he got the account back. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that he can do because he's stuck with it, right? He's stuck with saying like the dumbest thing because Activision has repeatedly said they mess up. He's stuck with the fact that he said, if you get permabanned, then you're cheating 100%. Guess what? He got permabanned and he wasn't even cheating. And then he got his account back, just like many other people that have got permanently banned got their account back. You see that a lot with PlayStation players and Xbox players. It happens over and over and over. So when people say stuff like that, it's incredibly goofy. At the end of the day, it's not my job to sit here and, you know, take care of Rara, but I am explaining his situation, what happened there. We fell out for a completely different reason. Had nothing to do with whether or not Rara was good at a video game. I'm not going to explain that. I'm not going to go into it. But we're friends now. We don't make content together. I refuse to make content with Rara. No offense to him in any capacity. It's just that I want to see him succeed on his own. So I don't make content with Rara. Does he sometimes help me with stuff behind the scenes? Do we sometimes have conversations? Is he literally coming to my wedding? Yes, we are friends. Rara does not cheat. I do not cheat. It is absurd that I even have to sit here and like explain this stuff. But at the end of the day, I get that not everybody has time to watch every single video and watch every single explanation. But if you're sitting here taking the time to watch a Call of Shame video, buddy, hop off the internet. For the love of God, this is not where you should be. At the end of the day, these channels, Call of Shame, Bad Boy Beeman, stuff like that, those channels exist because they recognized that people were upset. They saw that the easiest thing to point at was streamers. They say, hey, I know you're mad. This guy is at fault. And everybody likes having someone with a face to be angry at. That's how we are as humans. Because even though everything is literally the fault of Activision, they want somebody to blame. Even though hackers have nothing to do with streamers in 90% of scenarios, probably more than that. And usually the ones that are cheating, streamers that are cheating, are people that are trying to make it to the top, but see the streamers at the top and think they cheated to get there. And then they quickly get caught. And other streamers, never Call of Shame, never Bad Boy Beeman, other streamers are the ones to point it out first because they don't want people cheating to get to the top because it's disgusting. So look, I'm not friends with any streamers. I've made some videos with people recently. That's about it. But at the end of the day, I think it's all incredibly dumb. And you really got to lock in and stop playing the victim because these hacker hunters, they're toying with you. They are actively manipulating you by using clips without context so that you will come back to their videos. And the more that they make a big deal about something that isn't a big deal, which by the way, Ricochet is doing incredibly well. Take this from someone that has talked smack about Ricochet for years. Ricochet is doing super well. I'm very happy with it. Not to say I'm happy that I'm dying to cheaters every once in a while, but I'm incredibly happy with the fact that it's way better than it used to be. With that in mind, I mean, dude, stop watching these guys. Like, just stop. You are getting manipulated. And they are making cheating out to worse than it actually is. You're thinking everybody's cheating. You're playing a victim. You're wrapping back around 12 times, rinse and repeat over and over and over until you stop playing or until you start literally sending death threats to people like I've received in the past from these guys. They are psychopaths. Absolute psychopaths. I've been doxxed. I have been swatted. I have had to go through all these things because of people like Call of Shame. It is disgusting. And honestly, the whole reason that this guy isn't showing his face on the internet is because he would be under the prison if people had his identity. He would be in prison for the disgusting things that he has caused to people, the absolute harassment that has been caused to people that have done nothing to him. Remember, people weren't making videos on Call of Shame before Call of Shame blew up, right? Call of Shame took the names of the largest streamers so that he could get viewership, and he threw them in his videos, cut out context, including clipping frames, put those in his videos so that he could get big. Only then were people upset with Call of Shame. It didn't start by big streamers saying Call of Shame's an asshole. He didn't exist, bro. He didn't exist. Who would have? It was always Call of Shame pointing at someone. Just keep that in mind, man. That's all I'm saying. He is not fighting for the little guy. He's doing it so that he can make money, manipulate his audience, and he even puts Bible verses on his page so that he can pull in a completely different audience, which is even more disgusting to use something like this and then try and make it about religion. That is disgusting. Next up, we have a comment from Silencer. Yeah, his last video about casual kind of made me mad. He's saying casual is all bots and no sweats. I'm like, dude, anyone can play casual. He dropped 15 kills in 3 minutes because he's a pro player or has a lot of experience playing and shoots headshots, but tries to say his team was not good. One, I was not smack talking my team. I just said my team they weren't super great. I'm not like talking smack. It's okay to not be good at a video game. That's half of my audience, bro. That's the whole point that people watch me, is because they're not good at a video game. That's the idea. That's the whole point. Why would I be upset that people are not good at a game? I'm not saying, dude, you're dog shit, bro. You need to get good at the video game. I can't believe you're not playing 20 hours a day like me. That's completely ignorant. That's insane to me. that anyone could ever feel like I was talking smack. Go watch that video yourself. I was not smack talking my teammates. If anything, I helped my teammates get a win that video. And we chatted at the end and they were having a blast because I was helping them get a win. 2, I am not saying that there's no sweats in casual. I never said that there's no sweats in casual. I'm saying that there's literally 120 bots and only 28 players. That means there are literal bots for 5/6 of the match and then only 6 other teams that are real besides yours. At no point am I saying there's only bots. You can read it in the patch notes. You can read it in the description of the mode. I don't know where that would even come from, but neither here nor there. My goal is not to dive into that and slam folks. I don't like doing that. I like just checking out modes and see how it is. Next up, we have Tony. He says, Expel doesn't cheat. Get a job, dude. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Gary said, Expel 100% cheats. You keep on just watching his videos, mate, because obvious you haven't got a clue what you're talking about and what to look out for. He's reverse boosting 2-box and third-party audio. Man, Gary, are you good, bro? You got a cute dog, I'll tell you that. Doesn't show his monitor and doesn't play live, 100% cheating. Shout out to Gary, man. Shout out to Gary. Good guy. Good guy right there. That's some crazy stuff. I hope he's okay. Next, we've got Vipix said, man, y'all are such sheep. How do y'all think Expel is a cheater? And C-Preds, they aren't cheaters. Also, Expel isn't a streamer. I don't stream, so I'm not a streamer. I just make content. Me streaming once a year is not me being a streamer. Just as a quick heads up. Stop brainwashing mindless sheep. Y'all have no IQ whatsoever. Truly remarkable. What an incredible comment right there. No, obviously I don't cheat. No, C-Preds doesn't cheat. Much love to the guy. Thank you for trying to defend me. Instead of trying to defend me, don't click on the videos. Don't watch the videos. Let them be their own cesspool of ignorance. That's the best thing you can do. Just steer clear of the videos. Otherwise, at some point, they're going to get something that really pulls you in, and they're just trying to indoctrinate you. So if you can dodge videos like that, I'm not telling you shouldn't take in information, but I'm saying if you know from someone like me that has been always honest to you about Call of Shane being a liar and a manipulator, just don't click the videos. It's that simple. Just don't do it. Junior Torres said, is Expel really cheating? I kind of think he's legit. Thank you so much. I don't cheat. That's simple. Eddie said, what the F did this have to do with Expel's ass? There was about a minute in there where he decided he could put me in there so that he could literally steal my thumbnail. I don't think he understands copyright, but that's okay. Next up, we have BH Player 2718 said, always said Expel was nothing more than another cheater, but after seeing Grandpa Hack's monitoring, he's 1000% a cheater. He literally follows people through walls, mountains, and as soon as person pops out, he shoots without having any possible way of knowing. Okay, that's a new one for me. First of all, if you ever watched the Grandpa Hacks video, which I'm going to pull up right now, then you would know there's literally nothing suspect about the video. Grandpa Hacks is someone that, once again, monetizes his cheating. Go figure that people love watching him and can't recognize that he does bad things. But he absolutely monetizes his cheating so that he can spectate people and use popular streamers' names in his content to get more views, to indoctrinate people, yada, yada, yada. He goes through the same thing as pretty much Call of Shame, except he pretends like he's some kind of hero. Oh, wait, they both do. So anyway, regardless of how you feel about Grandpa Hacks or whatever, let's go ahead and take a look at his video real quick. Scroll down. I responded to his video. I said, thanks for watching, Gramps. Would love to have a chat for some content if you're down. He refused because he was scared that he would get absolutely like destroyed in the conversation. And fair enough, he would have. Want to pick your brain on a few things? Feel free to reach out, as I know you follow on socials. Additionally, because people in this comment section know nothing about the way the game works, 1, weapons with low recoil or being well controlled will show no recoil while being spectated. Feel free to test for yourself. 2, the mode we were playing apparently had no skill-based matchmaking, which is why it seemed the players are worse than normal. Feel free to check my streams without being a weirdo to see my normal lobbies. Ironically, I don't stream anymore. 3, I'm obviously not cheating, have never been banned, and if you think I am, you need to get better. I'm barely above average. 4, you're hearing Grandpa's game audio with my stream overlaid. It's nearly impossible to hear what I'm hearing in game. I use Artist War Auto Tune, which back in the day, again, I did use that. I don't use that anymore. I use a special version of it that 100% same as Artist Wars, whenever I was using it, did not use any sort of, you know, thing that would change the game files. So I've always made sure I don't change the game files at the end of the day. So footsteps can be heard from 50 meters away very clearly. Now, that comes with an asterisk. That is only in specific environments. You can't hear it 50 meters away. I also changed the audio that Artist War gave me. They used to recommend that you turn off a specific setting so that you could hear things a different way. I never used it that way, so I always did a dumbed down version of it as a quick heads up. And I said, it's incredibly sad how far people reach. Be better, folks. And right here, Strong On said, so you're saying explain 856. He goes into a room looking the wrong way and almost gets killed. Let's see this. So right here, pulling into the building. Oh, yeah. And you can hear me scream like a little baby back bitch. Obviously, I'm not cheating. I just ran into the room having no idea that there was a guy there. It makes no sense that I would have done that if I had hacks, right? You can easily see that I go into this building. I heard footsteps of the guy in there, right? So I heard the footsteps. I run in here. And if I was going to look this way, you would have seen something right here. But I run in and the guy's behind me and I almost died. So when people are like, oh, he's cheating, it makes no sense to say that because clearly I had no idea there was a guy there. So there's no way I have walls. But at 1010, he's bottom floor going up a staircase. How the F does he know when he's not even at the building yet? It's been a long time, so I don't know if I can answer all these questions. Up the staircase right now. You got there? Anna, I better murder this fella. He's bottom floor going up the staircase right now. How does he know? Oh, look at this. Look. I better murder this. Okay, so here's how I know. This fella. Watch. Yeah, right there. I was talking about this dude right here, right? So if I zoom in, well, I'm not going to zoom in, but I said Hannah, and then there's a guy bottom floor going up the staircase right now. I saw that. The reason I saw that is because I saw on the mini map that there was a guy with an arrow. So guy right there, I see him cross by. He's going up the staircase. And guess what? He's fun fact. Floor going up the staircase right now. He doesn't even go up the staircase. He doesn't go up. Obviously, I'm not cheating. I wouldn't have called that he's going up the staircase. That's insanely ignorant. 13, follows the guy across the tracks and also knows where they are and haven't even seen them yet. There's 3 on the bridge and then pops up right the guy. Okay.
Fire. Lane kills hot.
I feel like we're missing information here. Let's go back because I don't know what's going on, truthfully. It's been over a year since I've watched this. Okay, so Savage pops a mark over there. He knows that there's a guy over there.
Scratch that.
Whole team on the bridge. 3 guys on the
bridge. Yeah, this audio is trash. So I have literally no idea what's going on with this audio.
You're losing ground. Move it.
He just grabbed the weapon case, so it picks up and it starts moving. I peek up. I saw 3. I don't. Where's the confusion? The guy grabbed the weapon case. Savage marked where they were. I pop up. I see all of them right there. Maybe I missed something? What's the confusion right here? Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense. I don't know what the issue is with that. Truth be told. 156, dude isn't on UAV and he hunts him down, even slowing down right before the guy exposes himself.
Like the target.
Ha 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 ha. They had it run me. His boyfriend.
I'm super confused as to what the issue is here. Maybe I just understand the game too much. Okay.
I'm laughing.
I saw that guy cross right in front of me, right?
Like the target.
Ha 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 ha.
I know the guy was rotating to the right. I've got Hannah on the right, so I need to get close to her. Hannah starts popping shots, so I know that the guy's got to be there. I slow down to come around the corner and then jump. You guys have never... Like, where is the confusion, bro? I'm so lost. Between 208 and 210, he uses soft aim. Let's see it. Never use their thumbs in their entire... Between 208 and 210, he uses soft aim. What? I was like aimed way down to the left. Oh, he's talking about me shooting. Again, the MTZ has no recoil. So when you're watching in a kill cam, one, this is a recreation, so it doesn't look right. That's about the best explanation I can give you. Like, 353, he doesn't kill the man.
I'm getting lit up. Don't worry.
Wait, what does he say? What does he say? What does he say? He doesn't kill his man, no kill is written. I think the guy falls from height and dies. An interesting moment, 428, he hears running sounds, but not clear if the sound is coming from the front or the back. So he uses soft aim again and locks onto the enemy for a second to figure out where the enemy is. Yeah, I got a gun. Where's the soft aim? You can clearly hear the audio coming from right in. Okay, a lot of y'all need to get headphones that are open back. Again, this is why I recommend stuff on my website, expel.gg, is because I feel like y'all are not getting the value that you need. I have recommended headphones that are open back that give you a much wider sound floor. The reason that I hear things so clearly is because closed back headphones, if I do this, it changes the way that the sound goes around your ears. So having open back allows you to hear more directionally than you would with closed back in 90% of scenarios. So I highly recommend when you're doing stuff like this to have open back, because I hear the guy. I even heard him sliding right there. Sorry, heard the guy sliding right there. And I know he's there. There's no need to worry about soft aim if you just use your freaking ears. Between 11:33 and 37, he's in a tough spot. Gas is coming. He doesn't have a gas mask. The opponent is behind a bush. Normally he wouldn't see, but thanks to soft aim, he notices there's someone there and shoots.
On my way, I have 4 bullets in the dream.
What? No, you can literally see his little head peeking out.
Knocked right in front of you.
What? Where in this video does it even look like I cheat? Because everybody says, oh, Expel's cheating, this, that, or the other thing. But in reality, I'm not. And it's very clear whenever you actually watch the video yourself. I don't even know what that means, but okie dokie. So next up, let's talk about Call of Shame's comment. 1, CPreds is intentionally, CPreds intentionally drops into lower skilled lobbies using a second account, 2boxing to create content. 2boxing isn't cheating. I don't like it. I don't do it. 2, Expel has teamed up with others in solo. By the way, if you were to say 2boxing is cheating, then also playing with friends that are bad at the game is cheating. That doesn't make any sense. 2, Expel has teamed up with others in solo matches, working as a team to kill other players to generate content. Griefing, that's also not griefing. 3, Expel has glitched into strongholds. That wasn't a glitch. 4, Expel exploited a glitch to eliminate others unfairly. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming he's talking about me using the Juggernaut glitch a long time ago, which I absolutely apologized for at the time of it because I realized that it was more bad than it was good. My goal was to actually get it patched because at the time J-God was making a bunch of videos trying to get stuff patched by saying stuff like that. Anyway, 5, Expel in my opinion uses a 2D radar. That's fucking stupid. 6, Expel also takes advantage of audio manipulation, commonly referred to as rah-rah cheats, to gain an unfair advantage. No, there's no audio manipulation. I don't know. What is it? I'm so tired of this conversation because it's so dumb and it's just another thing that Call of Shame can use to make people believe that someone's doing something wrong. If you've ever used Astros, if you've ever used a different pair of headphones than everybody else that's ever played, congratulations, you've used audio manipulation because every single headphone has a different set of frequencies that goes through your freaking ears. That is so dumb. It makes no sense. And then he says, Call of Duty Code of Conduct, any use of tools or methods that provide an unfair advantage is considered cheating. Again, if you use anything other than like the exact same thing that everybody else is using, then it's cheating. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How do you even say stuff like that, Call of Shame? You're so lost, bro. You're so lost. God, I know he's going to clip my audio of me saying that doesn't make sense and put it in his intro. And it's so funny that I can call that out because he will actively go out of his way to take stuff out of context and use it for his own content. I know that's what's going to happen. And it's just so goofy, bro. Lloydie Boy said I rate Rara and CPreds. Yeah, so this is what he was responding to. For the record, I rate Expel and CPreds. At least CPreds shows all the gameplay and doesn't care about high kills. I'd say they both more relevant than you. I guess the reason Call of Shame responded in the first place because he got his little boy feelings hurt. Oh no, your poor baby. Next up, we have a thread of comments. This is the last set that I'm going to respond to because I know this has been an incredibly long video. From Drop said, oh, you mean Expel, the guy that streams from his bedroom and calls this his business like he's some major corporation. That dude's been cheating since the days him and Rara got banned for the first time. I've never been banned in my life, ever. Not one time have I ever been banned in Call of Duty. Not once. I don't know where this came from. I don't know who spread this. I've never been banned. The only time my name ever even changed was one, I went from naming my channel I am Expel to Expel. So I changed my name in game to Expel. That's the one time I changed it. And then I believe when Caldera dropped, or there was an update for Caldera, I was forced to change my name. I went from Expel 8906 whatever to Expel 4444150. Please do not send me a friend request. But I did that, and since then people have said that I got banned. But the issue is it was a well-known issue. I even DM'd Bad Boy Beeman, that big dick hole. I DM'd him and I told him, and he was like, no, I know, I'm not gonna put you in a video for that. Even the Bean Man out here said that, bro. That's crazy. As for streaming from my bedroom, do you see a bed in here, dude? Yeah, this is a separate room in my house that is designated to be my office. Also, I'm not trying to be crazy, and I don't want to go into specifics, but this has been an actual business, an incorporated business, where I have hired contracted labor, where I have worked with different people, where I have created media that goes across social media and different things, and I have given away tens of thousands of dollars to people. I have done all of this stuff, and you think that this is not a business. We write, produce, and distribute media. This is literally a media company, and whenever I do my taxes and I pay in tens of thousands, if not over $100,000 in taxes per year. That was during COVID, just to be clear. That was not now. I did not make that much now. But whenever I do that, I fall into a specific category. That is media. It is media. I don't know where the confusion is. It's literally a business. Dude, people that don't understand how businesses work, it's like Drop literally banged his head against the wall 8 times before he started typing. Next up, Idaho responded, and he said, this is all out of order, just to be clear. So he said he doesn't stream. He just does YouTube, as he specified multiple times. You obviously don't know, or you don't watch him enough. Call of Shane said video coming soon about that. Good luck, buddy. I don't know what you want to say. He would show his screen. I've done it. I don't know what you want from me. It's all just moving the goalpost. Keep moving that goalpost, baby. Make that rent, baby. You got it. Idaho said again, really, facts that Expel is cheating, that don't seem right, because his aim just don't look that good to be cheating. Damn. Let alone half the time he doesn't know where people are. Yep, that's crazy. Call of Shame said aimbot. No, he doesn't use aimbot. But you think I use 2D radar? But if I use 2D radar, then wouldn't I know where people are? Something ain't adding up here, Call of Shame. Walk me through it, buddy. Walk me through it. Go ahead. Get on your little AI voice and walk me through it. I believe in you, buddy. You know what? Better yet, how about you show your face for the first time? How about you show your face for the first time so that you can go through some litigation for the harassment that you've done? How about that, buddy? Next up, Drop responds to someone that I can't find the comment to. Drop responds to someone, said, I don't even care about Call of Shame. I'm talking about people like Expel who post clickbait to get views. Call of Shame literally does that, but 10 times worse, because he actively uses the names of other people and tears down other people just so that he can make rent. So there's that. And yes, he does cheat. I do not cheat. If you watch him stream, you will be able to tell within the first hour. I don't stream. Okay. Killjoy responds to Drop and said, yes, we all watch him and he is not cheating. It is very obvious you need to go see your optometrist. Who are you going to say next? That Stone Mountain or Onyx is cheating? Because they suck so bad, or because you suck so bad? Last time I saw Expel, it didn't look like his bedroom he was streaming from. But even if he did, are you saying that he should rent out an office space to stream? By the way, I looked into that a few years back, and it would have cost like $2,500 to $3,000 a month. That's literally renting my house with me having a 5-bedroom house. That's insane. How many bedrooms? 4-bedroom house. That's insane. Why would I not just use one of these bedrooms? Like, it doesn't make sense. Not too many professional streamers or YouTubers do that unless you are someone like MKHB, that can spend millions of dollars on a studio. Most have an extra room in their house they use. Tell me you know nothing about COD or streaming in general without telling me you don't. Fair. That is true. That is true. All that is true. Jon Snow said he's been a cheater that got permabanned in the original Verdansk. That is not true. I've never been permabanned. Ever. I've never been banned. Realistically. I've been chat banned. I don't know why they call them bans, but they're temp bans. Temporary chat banned. I've been shadow banned. That's it. That's the only thing I've ever had to deal with. So, incredibly ignorant. And Drop said, Expel, is that you to Killjoy, by the way? You almost had me fooled. How many YouTube accounts do you have, bro? Yes, you are cheating. This fake account isn't fooling anyone. Damn, he thought that was me? Bro, I can't even, y'all, just so y'all know, I can't comment on Call of Shame's page. He blocked me and he makes videos about me. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that great? Get a life and move out of your bedroom in your parents' house. My parents live in North Carolina. I live in Austin, Texas. I am about to get married, and look, we ain't going dollar for dollar, but buddy, I guarantee that with the 12 hours that I work a day, I am making more than you. So it is incredibly dumb to consistently say this is not a business. I promise you, I make more than you. I don't pay myself that much because I like to take care of the people that work for me. But the business definitely makes more than you make. I promise. It's not, I'm not trying to go bar for bar, band for band. Like that's not the point. But the point is when people say it's not a business, it is insanely dumb. Usually I would not respond to something like this. And I kind of hate that I screenshotted it so I could say all this stuff, but that's the reality of it. I hate talking about it because I'm worried that someone's going to try and hurt me, but I don't have cash. The only things that we have in the house that are worth like any money is my computers. So I always worry that people are going to try to like hurt me or something like that whenever I have conversations about reality, but such is life. You barely stream to 50 people a day, get a job. I don't stream. I don't stream. When I do stream, it's to like 250 people, and that's only on Twitch. If I stream it on YouTube, it would be like 2,000 to 3,000 people because my audience isn't on Twitch. That's just me like saying, hey, Discord, go check out my stream. That's it. That's literally it. This is like, I don't know why like all of it has to be like an ego check thing. I don't have an ego. I don't give a shit, but I just don't like people lying. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason I'm responding to this is that like everything that people say about me is lies, and it's super weird to live in a world where I'm just a freaking dude that plays video games and shares my fun times with my viewers. I have random conversations about video game shit. We don't have existential conversations here. We don't have conversations about stuff that really matters in the real world. So when people are so angry about me having an opinion about a video game, or people are so angry that I play a video game like, and I'm decent at it, it blows my mind. They're leeches, bro. Like they're leeches. There's a guy that makes videos about me so that he can make rent. Do you know how weird that is? Do you know like how dystopian that feels as someone who just makes YouTube videos that just plays a video game, spends time like writing and scripting out stuff for the videos, and then posts them? It's just incredibly weird. And I mean, it's definitely harassment, to be clear, at the rate that he's done it. And he now does like this thing at the beginning of his videos where he says, I'm just criticizing public figures. Are you saying I'm famous? Are you trying to tell me that you think that I'm famous? Jeez, Lou, bro. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore with these people. But either way, look, man, please. I usually don't respond to stuff like this, but if you could go out of your way to dodge talking to these people and not ag it on, that'd be incredible. The only reason I responded to it is because so many people have been saying, Expel, Call of Shame, Expel, Call of Shame, Expel, Call of Shame. And I'm like, bro, just, all right, fine. All right. I'm not doing it again, okay? In the past, I've even taken down my videos talking about Call of Shame because I didn't want to deal with them. I had videos point blank proving that what he said was bold-faced lies. He said that if I proved that what he said was a lie, he would take down his videos. I showed it. He moved the goalpost. So what's the point? What's the point in all of this? It's all just so some weirdo with access to AI can make rent. Like that's all it is, bro. And if you can't see that, you're blind. That's what it comes down to, dude. I don't know. I hope shit gets better for him, bro. I hope he stops having to tear other people down so that he can feel good about himself. It's just, I mean, it's just sad, bro. It really is at the end of the day, man. Hope you all have an incredible day. Sorry to end this on a downer, but man, I don't even know what to say anymore. We're gonna be back with better videos, exciting, very soon. Obviously, I'm getting married. I don't know when this video is going live, but a little bit after this video goes live, I will be married. I'm coming back. We're gonna be hitting it hard, better than ever. We're gonna be bringing some series to the channel that I'm so excited about. And hey, we've got, hear me out, bro. We've got merch coming back in. We've got more where we dropping tees that I know y'all loved coming back in very, very soon. So if you want to get one, be on the lookout. I'll let y'all know when they drop. Hope y'all have an incredible remainder of your day. I love you if you are the best in the business, like I know a lot of y'all are. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.